Morning, folks. It's August 2nd. It's a little dark out here. Just goes to show the days are getting shorter. It's shorter, like 2 minutes per day. So I think this is garden tour number 8. No, excuse me, 9. And things are really changing. The garden's really producing. The plants themselves have stopped growing. The plants aren't getting any better, any bigger. They're putting their energy into growing their fruit. So it's just change is inevitable, and I've learned not to fight it for sure. And in fact, I'm getting so much better at anticipating the change and getting ahead of it, working with it, understanding it. So we're in a definite time here of change in the garden. So here's the bean trellis, and my original goal was, hopefully I wanted to make some dilly beans, but as per my usual practice, I eat my garden. I don't usually preserve my garden. So I'm out here every day, every time I walk by it, I'm picking the beans and just plain eating them. So a lot of days this is the first thing I eat during the day. I come out here and look at my garden, pick a handful of beans, and eat them. Right? Definitely getting more nice ones here. Maybe I'll have enough to just cook up for dinner or something. That's the nicest handful I've gotten so far of big mature beans. Maybe I'll have to think about making some dill beans. Alright, let's get down here to the garden. There's the sun just peeking up through the trees. Usually by now, when I make these videos, the sun is peeking up over top of those trees. Right now it's just peeking through those trees. So let's do our little tour here. This time of year, stuff has really stopped growing, so there's a whole lot less maintenance going on and caretaking, and just picking and harvesting for the most part, watching out for disease or bug damage. There's a eggplant. I've been keeping my eye on that. I got a couple more ready to eat. Maybe I'll get my wife to cook that up for dinner tonight. But all the plants are there. Here we go. Here's that. That's Japanese beetle and or aphids eating that plant up. At this point, I don't know. At this point, if I'm gonna, that plant will make it or not. But that's the worst one. This eggplant got a little bit of damage on it. Not terrible. Tomatoes are growing. I'm picking these tomatoes as they come on, and I core them and freeze them, and I'll be making some sauce pretty quick. Last night I like these low acid tomatoes, whether they're the little cherry tomatoes or these nice slicing tomatoes. I had one of them last night. There's a pepper plant. I've been picking a lot of them, canning them. They make nice garnish for salad or anything. I like them. Eat them a lot. So one thing I'm making sure I do different this year is when I'm picking the can or freeze, I don't pick these cherry tomatoes. I leave them. And this is what I share with my neighbors, and it just seems like the right thing to do. Gotta eat this one. This little plant. Remember I said the difference between determinate and indeterminate. This plant's done growing, 100%. It's got some disease, it's dying back, but all these little plum tomatoes that are on it, they'll all start ripening up at once, and then I'll really get into my canning. I picked the biggest peppers I ever grew this weekend, and I really think that's because I pinched the blossoms. Remember, I pinched the blossoms. Alright, here's a problem. I've been looking for this. You see this stem? See how that's all eaten off? You see right there? Well, that poop, that's a tomato hornworm. Tomato hornworm. And they're very hard to find, but I'll get out here later today and I'll find that bugger, because he can eat this whole plant up in a couple more days. It's amazing how much they can eat, and they're big. They're like 2 inches long. I don't see it right. I don't see it. They blend in so unbelievably well. It's unbelievable how much they. And that's the way you find them. You see that poop on there, and you usually look over top of the poop and you find the hornworm. Oh, there he is. Let me zoom this thing in here. Where is he now? There he is. You see that guy hanging down? I never saw him hang down like that. He can eat like crazy. So I'm gonna snap that off. He'll hang on there. Snap that limb off. There we go. A lot of times when I find these, there's a wasp that'll lay their eggs on the hornworm right in their back, and their white eggs makes it a lot easier to see them. And that caterpillar becomes the host for the hornworm. That's a big sucker. Well, that's not the biggest one I ever seen for sure. Alright, but I'm going to put them on the ground, exterminate them. Alright, that's the end of that hornworm. Alright, so here's something cool. Yesterday, I was checking these carrots, and look what I found. It's been sitting out of here all day, but you know, I pulled the plant that had the longest top. That plant was out competing the other carrots to get to the sunlight. So that might be the way I'm going to be thinning these and eating these carrots, is the tallest ones, which makes a lot of sense. There's another one of those little determinate plum tomatoes. Plant's really dying off, but all those plum tomatoes will come in and we'll be making sauce. Pepper plant, another tomato plant, pepper plant. I'm just picking these right along, using them up, canning them, freezing them. This would be my great nephew. He came out here and picked all these banana peppers for me. There's a nice beefsteak tomato in there. We got a hurricane coming. We're gonna have a lot of rain Tuesday, Wednesday. Today's Monday. I'm gonna get out here in the garden and pick and do what I can do to get ready for the. These are just coming on great guns. I was out here, well, I lied, my wife was out here yesterday picking them. I was canning. But they're just coming on every day, more and more and more. That plant got picked yesterday. Still, just keep on coming, keep on coming. Everything's just growing. Kind of glad that these plants stopped growing. They're just getting out of control. There's a nice tomato. That's one of those heritage. They stay pretty green on the outside, but inside they're nice and mature. Sometimes they just get ugly as all get out. Here's some more. These sun gold tomatoes. Boy, I'll tell you, pick see they ripen from this end to that end. And you pick the nicest ones, man, good stuff. Good stuff. I stand back, you can see just how these indeterminate, they just keep growing. Just going wild down here. So here's my first planting of cucumbers. And it's definitely petering out. Remember back to some of these earlier videos, all the blossoms that were on the bottom. Well, there's not a lot of blossoms, period, and they're all on the top. But that's okay. We got the second planting started real good. They're coming on. Haven't got any cucumbers off the second planting yet, but the sun's starting to peek through the trees a little bit better. But yeah, this plant's still doing all right, but it's coming to the end of its life cycle. Here's a nice little European. I'll come out here and pick that today before I go to work. That's the size I like to eat. Nice little ones, no seeds. Here's the last planting of cauliflower. I still got some more seedlings. It's still not too late to plant them. As I get some empty buckets, I might have to plant a little bit more of that cauliflower. I got just a few seedlings left. There's my wife's special squash. She's been getting a few of them. It's hard to see, I think, here. Right, can you see it? There it is. That's a zucchini type little squash. Doesn't get long, but she's been out here. Look at this plant. Remember what kind of damage that is? What kind of plants like to eat cauliflower and cole crops? Cabbage looper. I got some special organic spray. Kills them real easy, real good. That plant will still grow out of that damage. Still very early. A lot of time left for cauliflower to grow. Then we got this jungle here. Just look down this row. This is all my wife's special squash. I hope they survive. I know they're going to get some damage. This hurricane, we're going to get some rain. Not a heck terrible wind, but that's a lot of foliage, and they're not real strong leaves. They break off, but I think there's too much foliage on them anyways. I'll do some natural pruning. But she's been out here getting these squash. Right there's a little one. Those beautiful blossoms. Bees are out here just going crazy every morning. I love it when these blossoms open up in the morning. Bees are out here working like crazy. I think there's bees on every single blossom. Look at that one right there. Three bees at once trying to get in there. That one bee's in there working. at the amount of foliage on this one plant. It's just incredible. This plant here, no idea why, this one plant right here, oh my God, it's head and shoulders bigger than the rest of them. My wife commented about how many squash she's gonna have coming on, but that's all right. We freeze them. We make ratatouille. At least our version of ratatouille was basically spaghetti sauce, but with all the tomatoes and the squash and the eggplant, anything that we got, and boil it up, reduce it real good, can it up, freeze it, make ratatouille. Good stuff. A nice little, I'm gonna put that one, nice little Kirby cucumber. I'm gonna put that one in my pocket. I'm gonna have that for my breakfast. So all these squash are just doing good. No disease problem, I should say, yet. There's a real good chance of these squash are in what they call the cucurbit family. All your pumpkins, cucumbers, these squash is cucurbit family, and they're susceptible to disease in the summer, especially powdery mildew. This planting of cucumber, you can see they're not the healthiest thing in the world. Heat and humidity really doesn't help them. But see it growing right up there. There's the top of the trellis. That one's not far away. A couple more days it'll be at the top. I gotta start. There's some that's growing on the ground. I gotta get that trimmed up, get it off the ground. But this planting's doing good. It's gonna be interesting to see when that comes on what I'm gonna be doing for more pickling. This planting of cauliflower, I don't know how good it's going to do because it's been growing through the heat of the summer, and these plants really don't like that. I got my leftover seedlings. I just can't seem to throw them away, but there's some cauliflower and some broccoli seedlings in there that if I get the time and motivation at the same time together, I can still plant them. Alright, so change is in the air, things are going good, but things are changing, and really putting my time and effort into canning and freezing and harvesting and just taking care of them. Not a lot of taking care of, because they're grown, they're on their own here. So it's just a real interesting time. And then before you know it, one day you come out here, and right now the plants are still vital, the plants are still healthy, and they're growing the fruit. But one day I'm going to come out here, and you'll be able to tell the energy. The plants are going to be dying, and they're going to be putting all their energy into growing the fruit. And just like now the energy's changed, the plants have stopped growing and just making fruit. Well, pretty soon the plants are going to be dying and putting all the energy into the fruit. And change happens, and how we accept that and work with it is really important for our recovery. And I've learned to do that. And I'm already looking forward to when the garden season is over, and hunting season is going to start, and logging season is going to start, and I'm already shifting in my brain what I'm looking forward to doing and how my life is going to be better because of keeping up with the changes in the seasons and making my recovery from mental illness to mental health better and better. All right, so there you have it for today. Thanks for being out here. Have a great day. Make progress on your recovery.